Hey guys, Meru here, and this is my very first cosplay showcase vlog. So I kind of throw out the idea of showing off some of my past costumes I have made. And you guys really liked that idea, so I'm going to go ahead and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show off one of my costumes. Today's costume is going to be Arkham Asylum Scarecrow. This is actually I guess the second costume I made. And probably one of the more complicated costumes I ever did. So I'm kind of just going to give you an overview of what I did. I'm going to show you the pieces a little bit more up close. So this might be a little bit of a longer vlog. I'm sorry about that, but it takes time. And when I get talking about cosplay, I can talk for days. So we're going to start with like the basic outfit. I have it all down here. I'm still here. So this is like the basic, these are the pants for Arkham Asylum Scarecrow. I know they're really hard to see. But these are his, basically just pants. It has a little flap here on the front that I made. These were made, this was before I really knew how to sew. I still don't really know how to sew, but these pants were made before I knew how to sew. So as you can see, if I can show you properly, these are actually not sewn together. They're actually bits of pants that I thrifted. So I thrifted a bunch of different pairs of pants, and then I kind of glued spots to the leggings that I had. And then I made these like straps. See, he has straps all on his legs, had straps. And then I hand stitched all of his stitching. So you can kind of see, has all this stitching on his pants. I hand stitched all that. And then I painted over it with paint to give it a very dirty effect. So he has all these like straps on his pants. And then here's like the back. He's got these like kind of like flappy things. These are just another pair of pants that I sewed on and tattered and painted and made very messy. Then he's got these little, I'll put pictures if I can, or at least links to pictures below of Arkham Asylum Scarecrow, so you guys can see. If you don't know, he's from the Batman game, Arkham Asylum. But then I just basically have these like sleeves that have straps. Oh, I can't pull them up because I have I shouldn't have worn a long sleeve shirt, but I did. Straps all on. So it's just like straps. These are just, I sewed these up. I actually did sew these together. And then just dirtied up the stitching. So it's like basically just a sleeve thing. Where because he's very tattered. He's very Scarecrow-like. Obviously, I can't get these off very well, I'm sorry. That's just the basics. So the basic pants, and then it's just a tank top I wear. I know he doesn't wear a shirt in the game. I unfortunately have assets that make it so I have to wear a shirt, so I just wear like a dirtied up tank top because I don't want to be showing off my bits and pieces. And then I have these shoes. So he has just these like wrapped up feet. And at most cons that you go to, if you guys don't know, you typically cannot be barefoot. And for specifically the convention that I was making this costume for, you are not allowed to have bare feet. For safety reasons. They don't want anybody getting hurt. So I basically took these little shoes, these are like little slip-on ballet slippers, and I wrapped them. I took one of Hubs' old like white undershirts and I tore it into shreds, and then I painted it so it looked all bloody and nasty. So when I wear it, it kind of looks like it's just wrapped up feet, but still kind of wearing shoes because I had to. And then for his hands, I did the same thing where I wrapped stuff over gloves, which I don't even know if I can get these on because they're so tight. But they're just gloves that are wrapped and mangled to look like his hands are wrapped up. Because I had tried it before where I just wrapped my hands with pieces and it wasn't working out because I'd have to wrap my hand and it was taking too much time. So I just adhered it to gloves. I don't actually know if I can get these on anymore because they've been sitting so long. And my hands don't. Let's see. You guys want me to see? I'm going to see. Either my hands have gotten fatter, or, which is, I guess, possible in a weird way, or not. But I can't get it on. So I might have to fix that. I actually haven't worn this costume for a while because it's just, it's encumbersome. It's hard to wear. And I kind of did it and then wore it a few times. And then moved on. So then I have the hood. So he has his iconic hood, which I can probably put this on. Don't laugh at me though. Don't laugh at me, guys. If I put it on. And then So he has this hood, the hood that kind of comes down. And same thing, this I actually took a hoodie. This is back before I knew how to sew and do pattern stuff. So I just took a hoodie and I made a basic pattern. And so this is kind of what it looks like. It's just his hood with it, you know, all that. With all the stitching, all the hands. I was very proud of this because this is all hand stitched. It's like I got thicker like yarn and just stitched it all throughout by hand and then painted it. And so I'm just gonna wear this now. This is fine. This is fine. And then came the mask. His mask is kind of complicated. This is actually the second rendition of the mask I've done. Basic mask. So you guys can see it. And so it has this extra down here. This is tucked into my hood, and the Velcro actually, there's pieces in my hood here and then here where it Velcros to keep my hood in place when I'm moving my head and moving around. So that's what this Velcro is. You don't see this part. The hood comes down. But this just keeps like my hood in place here, and then I tuck this down so you can't see my skin and keeps this in place so it doesn't move, so they stay together. This mask is, so it's kind of weird to look at the inside. It's a mask that you get at a hobby store. So Hobby Lobby, Michael's, you know, you get those basic white masks, and they have it in the section where they have all the feathers, so then people can, kids, I think it's actually the kids section, they can decorate them and do whatever and make their own mask. So it's just a plastic white mask. And then this brown part is actually Warbler. So I took this, I cut off the bottom of the mask because it didn't quite fit my face comfortably or well because it was kind of smaller. And I have kind of a round face. If you guys haven't noticed, I have kind of a chubby face. So I took a piece of Warbler, actually molded it to my mouth, and then connected it to the bottom half so I could have a more comfortable fit while wearing it all day. And then drilled holes in it and everything so I could breathe. It's still actually really hard to breathe in this, so I don't like to wear it for long periods of time. So that's the inside, and then I took a little bit of foam around the edge just to make it bigger, just to make it so it could, because the mask, you know, fits your face, but goes to like here. I put the foam in to make it so it could fit my whole head and kind of rest comfortably around my whole face. That's the purpose of like the Warbler and then the foam here, the foam that you see on the top and the sides. It just makes it so it's a little bit bigger. It fits actually on my head. It kind of rests on my head, so it's not just sticking on the front of my face because that was uncomfortable. Then the orange you see in there, those are little pieces of plastic that Hubs actually put in. And you'll see why, but to kind of cover the eyes. I'll show you that why, and you see all the wiring, obviously, that's going on here. There's a lot going on in here. This piece of foam, too, is just so it rests comfortably on my forehead, so it doesn't leave like a mark or a dent in my head. And then I took straps and fit it like a hockey mask, so it just can go over my head and sit nicely. All the stuff I did in here is just comfort, because I had a mask before, and I had made it and it didn't fit comfortably, so these are just all like modifications I did. So you see he's got like a 3D effect, like with his eyes and his nose here. It kind of pops out a little bit. It gives it that sunken eye look. That is all done with basic like modeling clay. Just modeling, like it's just like modeling clay, model magic, 3D magic, all that stuff you can get at a hobby store very, very easily and kind of cheaply. I just did that to give him more dimension to his face, just to make it look like more like bones. I'm not really happy with this mask. I would probably remake it again if I had the desire, but it took so much time. So just basically to mold his face. Then I covered it in cheesecloth. Cheesecloth is what you would put on foam if you were making armor or anything on the other side. It makes stuff a little bit stronger. So I put the cheesecloth on just to keep the clay, any of the clay from coming off, and just to give it like a nice smooth finish. And then I covered it, oop, the camera went out of focus. And then I covered it in burlap. It's just this basic burlap material. I did 2 layers of that because I ended up getting like the thinner kind that you can kind of see through. So I did 2 layers of that on his face. And then I just dirtied it up. I cut out the mouth, stitched it up. You get, it's called crafting lace. It's the kind of stuff that people who do leather working would use to stitch their ends together. So you stitch his face, stitch his mouth up. And then these are just respirators from a basic painting mask. gas mask, painting mask that I painted. So you can get these real cheaply. So then I put on, you're not going to be able to hear me very well, but I'll show you why there's stuff in the eyes. So let's see if you can see it. Let's see. Oh goodness. So I don't know if you can see. So you kind of put this. So that, sorry, you probably can't hear me. So that is why there's things in there, because his eyes glow. This was not something that we had done in the original mask. I just could see through it. And then I wanted to add a freakier element to him. I wanted to make him a little bit creepier. So his eyes glow orange, which they do in the game periodically, not all the time, but I can turn off. It's very actually hard to see through the mask. Especially when the lights are on, I can't see anything. So that makes it a little bit more of a complicated costume. If it's really dark, I can see. If there's like light, if I'm looking into the light with the lights on, I can't see anything. So it makes it a little more complicated, but I think it gave it a cool effect. So, and that's just attached to a little wire in the battery that I actually put down in my shirt, so then I can just toggle it whenever I want. So that's the basic mask. And if I'm going too fast, pardon me, if I'm going too fast or not explaining anything in enough detail and you guys have questions, you know, ask away. I don't want to make this video like super long. I just kind of wanted to show you guys basic costumes I've done, show you them a little bit more up close, and so you can kind of get a feel for how they work maybe a little bit. And the next one I have is his Fear Toxin glove. So this was kind of a feat in itself. This has a lot of complicated parts. Some of it I think might actually be broken because I haven't stored it very properly, which is my bad. But I'm putting it on right now. So I'll show you guys a little bit of it. And again, if you have questions, if you would like to know where I got certain things, how I did certain things, you know, always feel free to ask. I'm really good about, not really good, but I'm really happy to answer questions that people have, because I know, you know, sometimes you're making stuff and you're like, how the crap did you do that? Where did you get those pieces? So this is his Fear Toxin glove. So these are my fingers, which are kind of bent a little bit because I didn't store it properly. And this is the glove itself. This is the actual like mechanism. And I'm going to turn this light off real quick so it might get a little dark, but I'll show you so you can see the lights better. So this is his glove. And this is why I turn the lights off, because it actually lights up. All the wire and everything you see, like, oh, apparently except for the pinky is not lighting up. The pinky's not lighting up, but so this kind of gives you guys an idea of what it looks like. It's very heavy, so it's very awkward to move in. So it has one setting where it's just on, and then one setting that we did that makes it pulse. So see if I can kind of back up a little bit and show you guys. And then it pulses faster. Sorry, I know. I'm probably not the best at like showcasing my costumes, but this is the glove. And I have to say that none of the wiring or any of the lights or anything, none of that's me. That's actually Hubs that does that. He's very talented with wiring. He kind of does this kind of stuff for a living, so he's very good with it. But so this is the glove itself. So this is his Fear Toxin tank. It's got the 3 sides, and then it's got the syringe fingers. This is how he would, you know, inject his venom into people. I've had a lot of questions about this. How did I make this? How did I do this? So this center part is metal. Some of you might be able to guess. That is actually a piece of dryer tube. So hardware store dryer tube, the kind that stretches out real far. Well, we just got a piece and we scrunched it all up to give it that kind of cool look. And then I painted it. These are all PVC pipes. So these are all PVC pipe pieces that you can get at like Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, like your local hardware store. It's just a piece. These are pieces of PVC that we cut pieces out of. And as you can see, these are just little PVC. This one's coming off. Little PVC pieces. Again, I said this costume's a little worse for wear. I haven't stored it properly. It needs a little maintenance. And it just has these little attachments holding it. All these little like metal attachments. All this stuff you can get at the hardware store for fairly inexpensively. And then we took plastic tubing and put it inside the PVC. And then I actually filled it up with hair dye to give it that kind of creepy like bubble. Or it's not hair dye, I'm sorry, hair gel. To give it that like bubbly effect, which is something I learned from a tutorial I found. And then this is just EL wire attached to PVC pieces. And these are syringes that I had painted to kind of cover most of it up and just leave the little opening. Syringes that I got at Big R, which is like a ranch supply store. So these are syringes that are made for like horses. And then of course not real needles. These needles are just the inserts of pens. So like old pens, writing pens. Take it, you kind of can cut it off to give it like a sharp, if you can see that, like a sharp needle look effect. Pen tubes. So they're a little sharp, but they can't actually hurt anyone. So yeah, and then all the wiring goes here. Goes down to a little box that I have where I can change. That we got, as you can see, Radio Shack. Where I can change the settings to where it flashes or is on or flashes faster. And so that's basically it. This entire thing, if I had to guess, maybe $50 in materials and everything. Maybe even less, but you know, with the EL wire and everything, depending on if you can find a good deal. I know that these syringes are about $1 something a piece. Pen inserts I found from old pens in the house. And the PVC pieces are nothing. Dryer tube is a little expensive. Dryer tubes are a little, you know, they're not cheap. And all that. So, you know, just depending on what you can find and where you can find it. It's not a hugely expensive piece. It's one of my favorites though. So, I don't know. Hopefully I'm showing you guys enough of it. I mean, it's basically, it is what it is. It's nothing too fancy. The lighting is really cool. EL wire. I don't know why that one is not working anymore. Something wrong with the wiring. I probably goobered it up. Because that's kind of what I do. I'm a thing gooberer. Hub spits a lot of work and stuff, and then I don't store it properly. I actually had to put batteries and all that stuff before I started the video because I don't store my stuff with batteries. Never store your stuff with batteries, guys. If you don't know that already, if you do have like costume pieces with batteries, try not to store it like with the batteries in it, because you know the batteries can go old or crappy, and then if you don't notice it, it can muck up the works. So try not to store your stuff with batteries. That's my cosplay tip for the day, I guess. But that's Arkham Asylum Scarecrow. I built this, and granted, like I said, it's not the best, highest quality costume. This is one that I built kind of back when I didn't really know what I was doing, and I really just kind of dove headfirst in this. I love villains. I love creepy characters. I want to do there's several other like creepy villainous type characters that I want to do. And something about them, they're just cool. They have so much detail and everything in them. So I just like them. Obviously, I still like, you know, stuff like my ferret. My wings are kind of, you know, worse for wear over there. But it's just one that I really loved. I actually ended up winning second place in a small costume contest here with this. I lost to a very fabulous demon hunter from Diablo 3 that I couldn't have competed with her had I tried. But I got second place with this one, so I'm pretty proud of it. It's one of my favorites. I might actually remake this one someday, kind of spruce it up a little bit. Maybe not so much the overall prop pieces, but the costume itself, now that I know how to sew a little bit better. Because, to be honest, those pants weigh a ton. Like I said, I glued pieces of fabric to leggings. And so it's like wearing 2 pairs of pants. And it's extremely heavy. They weigh about like 5 or 10 pounds. Somewhere in there, just for the pants. So it's very heavy. One other interesting part of this costume. And I have to say, this is the weirdest thing I've ever had to like look up on YouTube. But as you know, if you know the character, he has a noose around his neck. So I had to make a noose out of rope. I had to look up how to do this on YouTube because I don't know how to make a noose. Not something that I just have in like my vault of knowledge. I do now, but creepiest thing ever that I've had to look up on YouTube. How to tie a noose. And there were several videos, and that saddens me a little bit and maybe disturbs me a little bit because they weren't like cosplay specific videos. They were just videos. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna start doing kind of like a little bit of a question to you guys since I'm doing an informative video. My question to you guys is like, what's the creepiest thing you've ever like looked up on the video? Try to keep it appropriate, but like just like, or not that you've necessarily looked up, but maybe that you've seen. This is mine. How to tie a noose. Creepiest thing I've ever physically looked up on YouTube. Not the creepiest thing I've probably ever seen. Because, you know, sometimes you get in the bad side of YouTube where you just don't know how you got there, but you can't look away. But creepiest thing I've ever actually looked up. So what's the creepiest thing you guys have looked up or seen that you didn't think you'd ever have to? It could be cosplay related or just general life. I mean, you don't have to share your really dark stuff. That's fine. We could just leave it. But I'm just curious. So that's Arkham Asylum Scarecrow. That's my version of him, at least. If you guys have any questions or would like me to go more in depth for more stuff, I'm sorry. This is my first time doing this. I don't typically do these where I show off my stuff. I'm really self-conscious of my stuff. I always think that it's not very good, as most artists probably do. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want to, you have any questions you want me to answer, anything you want me to go more in depth on. I will be starting a little bit of a cosplay tips and tricks along the way to kind of go along with this video series. And what costume do you guys want to see next? You know, I have I'll show my camera. I have my fairy, obviously. I did a Makote. I did a demon hunter. Sadly, I don't have a lot of pieces of the demon hunter anymore. It was the first one I ever made. It didn't survive very long. It wasn't made exceptionally well, so some of it has ended up in, you know, trash heaven. But, you know, are you guys excited to see anything in particular? My fairy would probably have to be a multiple part video, as she's very intricate, very complicated. The wings alone I could talk about for days. The staff that you can see here. So, you know, give me your thoughts. Let me know if you liked this video. I hope you guys did. Leave a like if you did, that way I know. And if you want to, subscribe for more of these types of videos, and leave me comments, questions, cosplay questions, crafting questions, general questions, whatever is on your guys' mind, let me know. So I hope you all enjoyed, and until next time, I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Bye!